we got DeWALT's new 10-inch XR miter saw. I saw a black and yellow box. I saw a miter saw on it. I was super excited because DeWALT has been making legendary large miter saws for the longest time, for as long as I can remember, and they give you the most bang for your buck. So if you're a fan of another brand, a Festool, a Makita, a Milwaukee, you're going to want to stay tuned because this may be the one that gets you to switch. DeWALT's new 10-inch miter saw is on the XR platform. So what does that mean? You got battery power. Now, this is product number DCS714B. We have an airlock system, which is if you want to get trapped in between spaceships or something. Battery and charger sold separately. So the DeWALT cutline system, integrated cutline blade positioning system, happens to be my favorite. Now with this system, you have a light that casts a shadow right on top of your workpiece, and I find that to be the most accurate. No lasers, no calibration needed, no changes, just a shadow. So what comes in the box? Parts and pieces, onboard tool, and the dust bag, hose connection. You're gonna hook it up to your favorite DeWALT shop vac. First impressions, nice and light. Not heavy like my big 12-inch corded units.
How you doing?
Lock's a little bit different than what I'm used to. So on my other saws, it's just a button here. Here, you push down, pull that out, and release. Here's your trigger, standard normal trigger for your miter stops, with your positive stops in different locations. Lock it down. To unlock the saw, you're gonna pop this out and then put it in this horizontal position so that you can operate the tool without it locking back down. Now, when you want the tool to lock back down, put this in the vertical position, push the tool down, automatically locks. Similar locking system for the beveling on the back, where you put this in the horizontal position and you can operate the bevel system. The positive stops on the bevel are back here. The positive stops for the beveling are used by these blocks in the back, where you loosen this up, slide her down, and now you're at 22.5. Slide that block out of the way, drop it down to 33.9, move them all out of the way, and there's your positive stop at 45. Now, if you want to get it back down to 49, you will have to use the onboard tool provided to loosen this fastener right here to slide this bracket back and slide this out of the way, this bolt out of the way. And that will get you all the way down to your 49 degrees. Most important thing, or most exciting thing for me about this saw, is the fact that it runs on the XR system and it's battery powered. 8 amp hour power pack. Plug it in. See how it feels? Just like my plug-in 12-inch DeWALT saws. You can see this button up on top here of the saw. You could engage the light without turning the saw on. And by doing that, you can see it projects this nice bright light with a perfectly clear shadow that will help you make proper cuts. Now, similar to the old style saws, you pull the bypass lever on the bottom and you'll bang into all these positive stops. But let's just say your work process, your job is requiring you to make multiple cuts throughout the course of the day where you're going to be having odd angles that may fall somewhere in between those positive stops. You lift this lever here on the side of the tool, and that will allow you to bypass having to depress the button to bang into stops. So now you can make your cuts at some off angle, get it back to 0, go back to your off angle, lock it down, do whatever you need to do, and you could slide freely back and forth. Now, Some of you may be saying, that's not the greatest feature in the world, but there are plenty of finished carpenters out there that are going to see a huge benefit in this. When you're cutting your angles and cutting your lines, you want to make sure with a miter saw with finish work that everything is calibrated and everything is top-notch and everything is zeroed out perfectly. 9 times out of 10, when these saws come from the factory, they're set up very well. But what we do is we normally set our saws to 0, lock it in place, and then what we're going to want to do is take the battery out, bring our saw up, put our square against the back fence, and check to see where our square is touching our carbides, and we want to see where they are contacting the saw while we are flat against the back fence. And this is set up pretty doggone close, pretty accurate. I'm pretty comfortable with this. But now that we've checked the left side, we're going to check the right side too, because the fence could potentially be off. And again, just like the left side, the right side, pretty square. Nice job, DeWALT. If for some reason your particular saw was not zeroed properly, all you need to do, take your onboard tool here. There are 3 screws on the miter scale. 1, 2, and 3. You would loosen those, and then you could minimally move your scale here to make sure it's zeroed properly. Now, 8 amp hour power pack, tool runs just fine. Very nice saw. But what if you don't have power pack batteries? What if you're running PowerStacks? Will they work? I don't know. Give it a shot. I'm hoping they would, but let's see. No discernible difference. Let's say instead of PowerStacks, you have FlexVolts. You're going to be cutting all day. Let's see how, Good. Now, let's just say you have a few smaller PowerStack batteries on your hand because you're running small hand tools during the day, but you found that you had to make an extra cut, but all you had was just 1.7 amp hour PowerStack. Seems like it'll get the job done. I don't know how many cuts you'll be able to make with it, but again, you'll be able to get it done. This particular tool is tag ready, and I see a huge benefit in that because we're on multiple jobs in retail spaces or in new office buildings, doctors' offices, where we may not have power yet. We may be working on framing. So having it tag ready so I know where it's at and we could properly inventory it, big key for me. Let's put the vacuum attachment on it, make a couple cuts and see how she feels. Feels no different than my corded 12-inch miter saw. So we made our cut, and it's nice and clean here, but with a 1.7 amp hour battery on a larger saw, it could prove to be underpowered. And when a large saw is underpowered, what will happen is the blade will chatter, which will result in a less accurate cut. So let's try to make some miter cuts here and see how accurate this could be with a 1.7 amp hour battery on the saw. So I'm going to set my saw to 45, go right from my corner here. Cut that off. Now, we'll make the other side. The good thing about this test is that not only are we testing the power of the battery, but we're testing the calibration of everything here. If something is off in the fence, in the blade, in the calibrations, we're going to be able to tell. So we're getting through a lot just by making these cuts. Back to 0. Cut her off. We made this cut through PVC with a 1.7 amp hour battery, general purpose blade, and guess what? We got a pretty tight miter. I'm okay with that. So we were able to make a single cut, some miter cuts, and again, we only threw this battery on because it was an emergency. But now that it's on there, let's see how far we could go. We get a picture of that right through the middle of this knot. No stalling, no chattering, no burning. Nice, clean cut. Now that flashing light's telling me that my battery is starting to die. You can see the flashing light. When your saw is underpowered, that could pose potential injury risks. You could get kickback from your lumber that you're sawing. Or if you make it all the way through, you could get some blade chatter and get a very inaccurate cut as well. So when you see that flashing, heed the warning. But again, 1.7 amp hour battery, and we made 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we probably made 25 to 30 cuts off of one single battery. 5 years ago, that was completely unheard of for a saw of this size to make that many cuts through a 2x4 with that small of a battery. Let us know down in the comment section below. Would you trust a battery-powered saw of this size, or are you going to stick with your older quarter versions? We appreciate all your feedback, and I hope to catch you all on the next one.